kids. I am so excited to tell you a story from my very favorite book called the Bible. That is right. You guys are so smart. And whose book is the Bible? God's book. And how many books are in the Bible? Yell it really loud. 66. You guys are so smart. And it's broken into two parts, the Old Testament and the New Testament. So we know that all month long, we are learning the story of Joseph and how God has a plan for each of us, and we can trust God's plan for us even when it's hard. So, does anybody remember what happened to Joseph last week? Clap your hands if you remember. Joseph was in jail. Remember, Joseph, when he got to Egypt, started working for a very important man named Potiphar. And he did a great job, and Potiphar trusted him and loved him. But one day, Potiphar's wife made up a lie about Joseph. It wasn't true, but she said that Joseph did something really bad. And so Potiphar had Joseph thrown in jail. But we know that while Joseph was in jail, he helped people and he did his best. In fact, he helped a couple of guys who were having some really, really scary dreams. He helped them understand what they meant. And then one day, something amazing happened. So Pharaoh, the king of all of Egypt, the most important man in all of Egypt, had been having some really, really weird dreams. He kept having a dream about cows. What's a cow say? Moo! You guys are pretty good cows. So in Pharaoh's dream, there were 7 fat cows. Let's hear you count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 fat cows. They were just kind of chilling out, hanging out, and then another 7 cows popped up in the dream. Can you count again? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. These cows were super skinny, and these skinny cows ate up the 7 fat cows. That's a really, really weird dream, right? So Pharaoh was super confused. He didn't know why he kept having this dream. And then he was having this other weird dream where there were 7 stalks of grain, like wheat. So this is sort of what a stalk of grain looks like. And grain is what we make like bread and crackers out of, okay? And so there were 7 stalks of grain, 7 big, fat, healthy stalks of grain in his dream. And then there were 7 dried up, kind of sick looking stalks of grain. And those 7 skinny, dried up stalks of grain ate up the 7 fat stalks of grain. Really weird. So there were 7 skinny cows that ate 7 fat cows, and 7 dried up skinny stalks of grain that ate up the fat stalks of grain. So Pharaoh was super confused about these dreams, and they were bothering him. And he was calling on everybody to try to help him know what these dreams meant. Well, guess what? Remember, while Joseph was in jail, he had helped a couple guys understand their dreams. And one of those guys remembered that Joseph had helped him. He had kind of forgotten about Joseph. And he told Pharaoh, hey, I know this guy in jail. He's still in jail. I forgot about him. His name is Joseph, and he can help you. So right away, Pharaoh called for Joseph to be brought out of jail, and he asked Joseph if he could help him. And Joseph, of course, because he was so good at trusting God, said, I can't help you, but God will help me help you. And so Pharaoh explained these crazy dreams to Joseph, and Joseph said, you know what, Pharaoh? God is trying to warn you about something that's about to happen. What the dreams meant was that for 7 years there was going to be a lot of food growing. A lot of food. Everybody was going to have a lot. And then for 7 years after that, there was going to be no food growing. That would be terrible. The people would starve. So Pharaoh was so happy with Joseph and so relieved that he understood what the dreams meant now, that he made Joseph a very important man in Egypt. He gave him a special ring, and he said, Joseph, you're in charge of all of Egypt. And he gave him fancy robes, and he made sure everyone knew that Joseph was very important and in charge of all of Egypt. So Joseph went from being sent away, far away to Egypt, to working in the palace, to being in jail, and now he was put in charge of all of Egypt. And guess what he did? when those 7 years came where there was lots of food, he made sure that they saved food. So guess what? The dream came true, and for 7 years after that, no food grew. But Joseph had saved food, so people came from all over the place to get food from Egypt because Joseph had been smart enough to save the grain for everyone. So, again, Joseph trusted God, trusted his plan, even when it was hard, even when he had found himself in jail. He trusted God, and God was doing amazing things in his life. And guys, the same thing is true for you. Even when things seem really hard or scary or sad, you can trust that God is always working the plan out in your life because he loves you, and so do we. See you next week. Tune in next week to hear the last part of Joseph's story. See you later.